Hello, MSN Leadership students. This is the final PowerPoint, I think, in the program. And there's a couple of you that are going to continue. But I wanted to give some final messages for you to think about, and I call it Journey's End, From Redwoods to Elephants. So think back and remember your first day of the MSN program. Now, for some of you, you might remember the orientation that we had. Others might be the first day of the Nursing 501 or theory class. And on those occasions, I gave you a poem about the redwoods. If you were in my class, I also gave you a postcard of the redwoods. And for some of them, I had put the poem actually onto the card. So again, think back to that. And here is the poem with a picture of the redwoods, of course. The ancient redwood trees, huge as they are, have a very shallow root system, yet they cannot be blown over by the strongest wind. The secret of their stability is the interweaving of each tree's roots with those that stand by it. Thus, a vast network of that support is formed just beneath the surface. In the wildest of storms, these trees hold each other up. And if you recall, when I gave this to you, I talked about looking around and getting information from your peers, phone numbers, whatever, because those peers were going to become your support system over the next couple years. And hopefully you have found that to be the case. So because this isn't interactive, I can't ask you of stories about how you put into practice, but think back over the 2 years and think back in the ways in which your peers were there for you, whether you reached out to them or them to you, and how you had somebody you could complain about the latest assignment or ask what page we were referring to, or help explain what we were doing, all of those different things. So hopefully you all have your memories of how your peers helped support you through this process. So now we're going on to elephants. And I found some information about the meaning of the elephant. And of course, we're using elephants because Tuffy, the elephant, is a symbol of Cal State Fullerton. So the elephant, or the pachyderm, symbolizes longevity, strength, royalty, dignity, patience, wisdom, happiness, and good luck. But elephants are even more than that. They're very social creatures who have lasting memories, and they can communicate with one another over very long distances through low-range sound waves. They also show a great variety of cognitive abilities and social behavior, which we tend to think are reserved for human beings. They live together in family groups and with a matriarch, a wise, experienced female. Sorry, men, but that's how elephants do it. And the matriarch is the head of the family group. But they're not just strong, they're intelligent. And I love this quote from Poole in The Fate of the Elephant. He said, "They're a large, funny animal, and they seem to know when they've done something dumb. They convey a sense of knowing how they fit into the world." Other things about elephants: they express joy, they play, they grieve. They said that, if they have a stillborn, that the mother grieves for that, just as if, we would for losing a child. But one of the favorite stories that I remembered, I saw this on a TV show, was about a young elephant whose mother was killed by the hunters, poachers, whatever, and the young elephant was taken, captured to be brought to a zoo. And was brought to a zoo, and there was another female elephant there, an older female elephant, and they instantly bonded and they became very close. And then at some point they split them up and they sent the young elephant to another zoo. Well, years later, the younger elephant was finally older, and there's this rescue place in somewhere like Tennessee where they rescue the elephants and they let them live out their life in this very open area. So they bring the originally young elephant, who's now old herself, to this place, and she goes, and the first elephant that she meets is the one that she had bonded with years ago, and they instantly knew each other and spent the rest of their days together until the older one died. So again, it kind of shows how they really do have these long memories, and they make these attachments that we don't always think of in animals. So here you are now at your journey's end, which is also a beginning for you. So as you finish this journey, I'm sure Tuffy would want you to go forth with these qualities of elephants. Be the strong matriarch, or maybe the patriarch of the group, and be intelligent as well as strong. Know where you fit in the world and have the sense to know when you've done something dumb. Play, express joy, and even grieve. And finally, keep your classmates and faculty in your memory and communicate even over the long distances. Now go forth and change the world.